So you did like your ideation and things like that. What was like the next step after that?
I would say it's refining the idea. So I've chosen what I want to, like which design I want to take forward with, and just refining the functions of it and like how it would actually do the function I want it to do, and like testing it out and also like modeling and stuff.
So what kind of modeling do you have to do to have that confidence that you are on the right track towards a solution that could fundamentally work?
I would say making your mind up clear of what is actually needed to be tested. So for example, my product had like 5 main functions. So let's say filtering the oil, like dispensing powder and like heating up and stuff like that. So I just identify how each of them could function and then test them each out. I think for me, it was important to like type out everything and like draw everything out of how the flow chart as well as like how things would go and how a user journey would be, and to identify what parts would I need to test out.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. How about yourself, Shen? So once you came up with your idea, what were the next chain of events?
It's also developing the idea, and because for my product, it's quite mechanical. Because so in terms of user journey, it's basically like a capsule machine where you just press a button and then it does everything automatically and then dispense a bowl of pureed food for you. But then, like in the design perspective, it's a lot of mechanical design where you have to consider how the water is going to be pumped into the capsule. One consideration for my design was how to actually mix the food into like from water and the powder, and how to dissolve it together and then mix it together to become the pureed food. And one consideration is that because of the mixing process and because of the different ingredients you have, like vegetables and meat, you can't really do them in one single mixing chamber. So I kind of developed from having a mixing chamber and having a typical blender where you just blend everything and then washing the chamber and then repeating the process again into just mixing everything in the capsule itself. So you don't have to clean anything within the machine. It's just inside the capsule that the mixing and the food is touching. So that process, developing that was kind of my main focus on how everything could be combined into one capsule. Yeah.
Okay. That's quite insightful. So what was the overall result? So once you've gone through all of that, what was the outcome, the final outcome of your project, and what were the levels of success and opportunities to maybe improve certain things if you had the opportunity to do it again?
It will be the final prototype. So for my prototype, I combined all the functions into the form of what I intend the product to be in. So it was quite a challenge to kind of fit every single function into into the actual size constraints.
Yeah.
And I think that for this project, it might have been too ambitious to kind of combine everything. So what I did was I made the prototype, and then I kind of tested each function individually. So kind of water pumping, and then piercing the capsules, and mixing the capsules. So like having a motor and kind of timing belt to turn and kind of mix the capsule. And that's kind of functions I tested individually. And if I were to do this again, I think the process was correct, but I just think I just need more time to iterate and kind of refine all the processes.
Cool. How about you, Celia? Same question.
Yeah, would say if I do actually have more time and resources, I want to actually make something that. So I've made functional prototypes as well as an appearance prototype that's separated. So if I had a chance, maybe something that actually works and combine the functional and appearance together, and then have actual people like making the soap might be interesting.
Yeah. Because I mean, to be very honest, I mean, something that like the stuff that you guys are working on, if this were to be an industrial-based project being undertaken by a company, you have more time. So there'll be different stages of prototyping. So the amount of time that you guys have to come up with something, I think that's commendable. So I wouldn't really worry too much about that. But it's all about the learning journey. So in terms of what you've done, so this is much more generic. It doesn't really pertain to just you undertaking your final year project. But what elements of design do you really enjoy?
I quite enjoy the ideation process, as well as kind of the branding of products, because I really enjoyed my placement, and it was mostly on kind of branding, helping the company brand their products. So maybe a company has products that all look different to each other, and people can't really recognize what brand they're from. And my job in my placement mostly was to kind of unite all these products together and think of a brand language that could be applied to every single product, so that the brand itself could be recognizable through products rather than just a logo. And this is what I quite enjoy. And so I think my whole career path has really kind of shifted from like the generic industrial design to more of branding. And I kind of really want to venture into more of the graphics of it and kind of UX, UI aspects rather than just in industrial design.
No, okay. Right. So can I assume that in terms of your optional module, you chose UX?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and how did you find that?
I really enjoyed it actually, and especially when like it's something that's kind of update to the times. So because now, like as we all know, it's really digital. Everything is really digital. I think learning UX is kind of vital for a designer to move forward. And I think I really like kind of learning a lot more different aspects of design rather than just industrial design. And I think it's really important for people to actually start venturing into different aspects of design rather than just sticking to one aspect.
So moving forward, what is it that you want to specialize in, or what is it that you really want to do after you graduate? You've completely graduated from university.
I think branding.
Branding. Okay.
Yeah. Because we also have some 3D modeling or like 3D designer jobs from branding. So, for example, like designing bottles for packaging, or like how packaging actually folds out, or like how it looks like. I think this is something that I really like.
Okay, all right, cool. Celia, so same thing. So, in terms of your design, like your learning journey and what you've accomplished today, what aspects of design do you really enjoy?
Particularly with my FYDP and everything, I think I really enjoyed like user research, and also like my use testing and stuff I really enjoyed. So the phase between identifying the problem and ideation I really liked, which was something about design that I really enjoy. Okay.
And in terms of moving forward after graduation, what is it that you really want to specialize in?
To be honest, I want to explore something out of the design field as well. I wanted to explore my career field and see what other options are there for me. But of course, I would like consider design, like my skills, to be used somewhere else.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay. All right. So that's cool. And what is it that you didn't really like? Or let's put it this way: what are the things that you found a bit more challenging?
I'll say I'm quite bad at like very technical details. So let's say design for manufacture, I'm not very confident in.
Okay. Yeah. Because at least, I mean, because that's one of the reasons why it's important to explore all the different facets in design. Then once you've graduated, you can then make a decision in terms of what is it that you really enjoy to develop those skills further. So I mean, it's understandable. I mean, designing for manufacture can be quite challenging. So I do empathize with that. All right. How about yourself, Shannon? What are the things that you found challenging?
I'd say research is quite challenging for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally I'd be quite shy to kind of approach people and like companies on like if they can like help me support me in some ways for a product, and I think this is still a barrier for me.
Yeah, because it's quite interesting because I mean, particularly you going into branding, that will require some amount of research.
Yeah, but so I think one thing that's good about like this course or like this career path is that it opens up a lot of aspects. So you've got research, you've got kind of the like traditional ideation, like industrial design. You've got actually design for the engineering part, like the manufacturing part. And I think what's really great is that you can actually choose from the three. So you don't have to be good at everything to be able to get into this industry. If you really specialize in one of them, you can already be really high up in this industry. Yeah. So I think what's great about it is that you can explore what you like and what you don't like, or what you're good at and what you're bad at, and you can actually decide on which path to take.
Yeah.
And for me, I think it's definitely going to be the traditional design part.
Yeah.
Maybe just product or even the branding or logos, like 2D or 3D design I really like.
Okay. So Sinead, should I assume that you chose resuscitation for your option?
For me?
Yeah.
Oh no, I actually chose sustainable.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
something I'm also like passionate about, to be honest.
Yeah. So in terms of what you guys did, I mean, were you required to explore the sustainability elements of your products and things like that?
Yeah, especially for my FIDP, I think it's considered as it's a product to improve sustainability.
Yeah. And from your perspective, I mean, what is the significance of that? Why do current designers need to consider product sustainability? From your perspective, why do you think that's significant?
Well, first of all, like we're using up a lot of resources on the earth, and also like I feel like instead of like a small portion of people, it should benefit like a bigger part of the earth itself. And also like we're quite selfish. I feel like humans always like design something just because it's convenient for them, but not necessarily like good for the planet. And I feel like that could in the long term, it's not good for like our future generations. So I think it's something that we need to consider like immediately.
Okay. How about you, Shannon? What's your perspective on factory sustainability when it comes to designing products?
Yeah, it's really important to kind of think about this. I think that it's something that it's kind of 50, for me, it'll be a 50-50 split between kind of problem solving and sustainability. So I think for every designer, they will consider sustainability in one way, but it's just about the proportions on how much they consider it. So maybe for Celia, it'll be like kind of like 80% on sustainability and 20% on the actual design. But like for me, it'll be kind of like a 50-50 split. And then for some people, it'll be more focused on kind of the appearance of the product. So it'll be more of 80% in the aesthetics and the product itself, and then 20% in sustainability. And that's how kind of I interpret this.
Okay. All right, cool. Right, so just sharing that with us, because again, I think the awareness of product sustainability is becoming, very, very key, particularly in today's time where we are kind of like consuming a lot as consumers, and the challenges of companies being extremely competitive, pushing products onto the market. There needs to be some measure of control in terms of how do we go about designing products for it to be easily reclaimed, to reduce the amount of, number one, resources that's being used at the primary stage, and two, how easy is it to dispose of these materials in a way that it doesn't affect our local ecology. So I think these factors are quite important. And it's also good that you made inference regarding the social impact in terms of when you're designing. And there are other components too, like the economy and things like that. But that's a different topic down the line. All right, so we're getting very close to concluding our interview. So my next question will be, what advice would you give to any young person that's considering to do product design? What advice would you give that person, particularly in terms of what subjects do they need to study in preparation towards undertaking a undergraduate degree in product design? And also, other than the knowledge-based elements of it, what about the interpersonal skills that they need to have? So in terms of being able to work as part and parcel of a team and things like that. So what would be your general advice to any young person that's wishing to pursue product design?
Especially for our course, I think it was very helpful that I took physics, because coming into having like mechanics, which like studying physics before and maths before, was very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was a requirement for product design to have maths and design, or design or arts. So but I think for industrial design, it's just arts or design. So I think if you really do want to take this course, then it'll be art or design that you have to actually take as a subject. But then at that stage, you don't really have to know how to draw like a designer would. It's more about your design thinking rather than your actual communication skills. That I think that this course really emphasizes on. And in terms of interpersonal skills, it's really important as a designer to be open-minded, so that you actually listen to everyone's advices and you can actually reflect on them, in their perspectives, rather than just thinking of everything in your perspective and being just kind of focused on your ideas. And also teamworking is also really important, especially in if you do want to pursue this as a career in like a design consultancy environment, that you are constantly working on different briefs in the same week, so the whole team will probably be doing like 5 or 6 briefs at the same time, and it's really important to kind of work together and kind of allocate which bits of design each person should do, as well as kind of how to combine everyone's ideas into that one design. I think these 2 aspects are really important.
Oh, cool. All right, folks. So I think we've more or less come to the end of our presentation and discussion. So I'd like to thank Celia and Shannon again for sacrificing their time on the Sunday to have this conversation with me. So I do really appreciate it, ladies. I think hopefully any young person, particularly any young lady that is interested in pursuing design, will realize that it's not an area just for males. Okay, it's devoid of gender. It's more about you having that interest and motivation in pursuing product design. So it's very good that you guys have been able to provide a very detailed insight in terms of your own aspiration and to also impart some advice to up-and-coming young designers, particularly those that wish to pursue a similar course as you guys did. So thank you very much for that. So this concludes our interview, and hopefully there'll be more of these discussions down the line. So at this note, I'd like to say thank you once again to Celia and Shannon, and folks, another time.